are streaming for those of us joining on YouTube. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm all right, my man. It's been a hell of a day. Work was crazy.
Real quick. By the way, no, put your phone down real quick. It's to your left. There's two things there. So I've gotten you a bunch of Cowboys stuff. This is a
Horace
Grant.
You don't have to tell me. I know the 54.
And then that is just something else you got to take home for the man cave.
Oh, what, Tony?
Yeah, so he signed it down there, and yeah.
Oh my God, dude! You spoil me, my friend. I don't deserve it. That's badass. What? I was a big Tony Kukoc fan, man. I really was.
Badass, though.
That is very badass. Though I always find it funny when you go back to the '92 Olympics and Jordan and Pippen knew that the Bulls were going to bring him in, and they were pissed about it, so they like completely locked him up when they played him in the Olympics. They're like, "We're going to show you, kid," and he came, turned into a hell of a player for him, helped him win 3 championships. So I'm a big Tony Kukoc fan. But Horace Grant, when he went to Orlando, that hurt. As a little kid that really had no concept of free agency or the business of sports or money or any of that stuff.
You were just a fan and
I was
loved
just
your
like,
team.
bro, the dude with the goggles, what are you doing to me, man? That killed me. I was very upset about that. But, yeah, no, Stephanie had her first day of daycare today.
How'd that go?
So drop-offs are on me, right? Because Amanda being a teacher, she can't be late to work. You know, when you got a bunch of 14 to 17 or 13 to 17 or whatever the age range is, you know, because she teaches special ed, so she kind of has a range of kids.
Yeah.
And but when you have that age group, you really can't leave them sitting alone in a classroom. Nothing good comes out of that. I mean, think back when you were in high school. Like, if the teacher wasn't in class, you usually were doing some stupid things that you shouldn't have been doing.
I believe the saying goes, was it idle hands make the devil's work or
something?
I think something of that nature.
On. Yeah, I think you're pretty spot on with that. So she can't be late for work. If I'm late, I mean, I got grown adults that I really don't want to leave alone because God knows what they're doing. But little easier for the world to keep spinning with no problems if I'm late for work. So drop-offs are me. And I got to be honest, I'm really not going to do good the first time she actually goes to, like, school. Because, dude, I was good talking to I don't know what they're called, teachers. I really don't know what the
teachers I would go with. Because, again, they're still going to learn.
Yeah, so talking good. I'm holding Stephanie, and I'm like, all right, like, is there anything else you need from me? Like, I got to get moving to get to work. And she's like, no, I'm working on her bottle right now. We're good. I'm like, okay. So I put her in a little jumper thing, and there's only one other girl in the class at the time, or in the room at the time, and she was obsessed with her pretty much from the second she saw her. And so I'm walking out the door. I'm like, all right, bye, Peanut. Daddy loves you. I'll see you later. And, like, she looked at me, she gave me a little smile, and went back to that little girl like I didn't even exist. And I'm, like, walking out the door and, like, feel myself getting choked up. I'm like, dude, you cannot. No, like, what are you doing? And, like, so, like, the sniffles happened, the watery eyes happened, but, like, the actual waterworks didn't happen. I got in the car and I'm like, all right, like, it's not a big deal, man. Like, you wanted her to go to take.
Yeah. Not like you're being forced into it.
Like, this is a choice.
You made the.
So, yeah, no. So that was the start of the day. And then, you know how it is, right? You go to work. You're like, all right, this is my calendar. I got this meeting. I got to be here. I got to do this. All right, cool. No problem. And then all of a sudden, this is burning down. This great news happens, but my rep needs help with it to make this deal get across the finish line. This, that, the other thing. And before I knew it, like,
days gone.
It's 12:30, and I'm just heating up my lunch. I got a 1:00 meeting I got to be on, so I'm sitting there like I don't eat fast, so like really only ate like half my lunch. So I'm definitely going to be getting hungry pretty soon. So and we got a lot to cover, but other than that, day wasn't bad. Baby did a good job. She had, Stephanie had 2 naps while we were there, which I didn't think she was going to do because she gets very stimulated and like she gets FOMO. Like, she really hates missing things, so like she fights going to sleep. So I was very surprised she took a nap, or especially 2 of them. But other than that, she's good. Amanda's good. I texted you about that earlier. No need to dive into that. And yeah, life is good. But how about you? I mean, I feel like we've texted, but like I really haven't talked to you. Like the holiday was good. New Year's good.
Everything was good. No complaints. Everything went well.
Did you make it till the ball dropped?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I usually do. You know, but I'm more of a night owl kind of guy anyway. So I never really had an issue making it to midnight. But you know, so yeah, I made it to ball drop, and then.
Now, did you watch the shows or like do other things?
No, I did other things. I was talking with fans. I could care less about the shows. I'll be honest with you. Like
even the live performances suck. Like it's just like why?
Most of them, like they're not even really singing. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But it's always on in the background.
Yeah.
Always got at least a TV or two on with a show, at least one or maybe even two different channels on, and so it's there as background noise. But yeah, it's background noise. Like I was more. Talking to family, talking to my father-in-law, talking about, playing with my niece Charlotte, doing stuff like that. For the holidays. So yeah, no, that was it was good. Overall, a very nice time spent with family and friends, and on to 2026,
bro.
Are we ready to rock this out? Get 2026 going?
Let's get rocking and rolling. Our
Let's
YouTube people appreciate y'all. I'm going to hop in there and get into that chat.
Get in that chat. And let's have some fun.
It's
good to be back.
Talk about so good to be back. I mean, we're back. New year. New coaches.
New year,
new draft order. Carl. Marissa Dubé.
Shout out. Happy 2026.
We got a crew already.
Awesome. Great to see everybody. Happy to be back for 2026. And yeah, our unofficial third co-host out there at the door whining his ass away. Locked out for the moment. But here to have some fun, talk some sports, and I think we're going to start. I think before we get into playoffs and the games, we got to start with Black Monday stuff because a lot of things happen. So between assistants getting fired and head coaches getting fired.
Favorite part of the whole season.
Eberflus.
Favorite part of the whole season.
So I'll let you start there. I'll let you start with Eberflus.
All right. First and foremost, shout out to the Giants for beating Dallas. Thank you. My favorite.
No, that which, by the way, Dallas could care less about winning that game, and the Giants were trying hard. Like, it was embarrassing. It's week 18. You have a chance at the number 1 overall pick, and instead you play your ass off to get the 5th overall pick in a meaningless game to just say, well, we won the last 2 games of the year, so we ended the season on a positive note going into next year. Get the F out of here. What is it? What are you doing? I'm sorry. Like, what a meaningless piece of win. And I'm sorry. We've talked about moral victories, and there are no moral victories. This is a loss.
I mean, you don't feel like a 2-game win streak going into the offseason?
This is subtraction by addition. This is we literally lost by winning, and I hate that. I had that happen to me in life once. Like, and it still bothers me to this day. I went to work one time, but it was a commission-based job. I went over 32 on calls that day. On a day I wasn't even supposed to come in, and lowered my commission. I lost $185 for coming in and working 5 hours on Saturday. I lost I lost money by going to work. Never again. That was the end of that job for me. So yeah, no, we don't play those games. Like, I don't lose money going to work. But yeah, don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, just
no moral victories.
No moral victories. No
What?
moral victories. And the fact that I'm really just praying because originally, like, the original thought was if Tomlin didn't make the playoffs, I thought maybe he would want to leave the Steelers. Instead, it went the other way around. The Steelers end up winning. They're going on to the playoffs. I think Tomlin's staying right where he's at.
I agree.
And Harbaugh is now the one out with the Ravens. And he's the big name. Now, the Giants have already flown Kevin Stefanski on first class.
Remember, he is a 2-time Coach of the Year winner.
He is, and he's not bad.
I think it's
but he's
the
not
Browns.
the stability of Harbaugh. He is not, and that's what I want. That's what attracts me. That's the reason I'm pumped about Harbaugh. I want the guy who's going to be here for 10 more years.
Yes.
I want the guy who's bringing the stability to the organization. And when you bring in Harbaugh, you're at least doing that. You bring him in, and instantly you know what type of team you're going to be, what type of game plan you're going to have, what kind of coach you have. Like, you have real leadership, I feel like. And somebody who knows how to win, somebody who's won at least one Super Bowl, who has been there, who has been to the playoffs multiple times, who has won divisions multiple times, who's not some slouch. Like, he's not just some guy who's 500 for his career and, bounced around to 3 or 4 teams. He's a guy who's been with the Ravens, the last 12 years, 13 years?
His entire head coaching career has been with the Ravens.
That's what I mean, like, stability.
Yeah.
I want that. I'm craving stability as a Giant fan.
So then you're okay with them keeping the GM?
Yes.
I was too, personally. I mean, it's hard to miss when you're picking in the top 10 every year.
But that's why you can't miss on this second coach. You can't miss.
No.
You have to hit. And there's only one guy right now that's, to me, a guaranteed hit, and that's Harbaugh. I look at Stefanski, and I think he's a good candidate. I think he's a guy who has potential. I think he can be a really good coach, as proven by his 2-time Coach of the Year awards with the Browns. But he's not Harbaugh, and he is not the stability Harbaugh brings. So I look at it, and I say, I hate to say it, but kick Stefanski as far out of that building as you can. Listen, our people
appreciate your time.
Our people call your
there.
people. Listen, we got a first-class ticket for you right the hell out of here, too. And Mr. Harbaugh, let me fly our plane down to get you. Like, we're not even putting you on first class. We're just going to fly our plane down, and then we're not letting you off the plane until you sign with us. Like, and that's the type of attitude that Shane needs to go into with this team and where he's going, because you cannot miss. So I'm not sure what the chat thinks. I'm not sure what Carl and Tim think. Not even sure if Marissa in the chat what she thinks as an Eagle fan, because to be honest, she's got the stability. She's got the stability I'm craving. But you want to know why? She's got a phenomenal GM, and I hate to say it. It pains me to say it.
Best GM in the league.
Best GM in the league.
I hate admitting it as well, but they are the best
because
GM in the league.
Because they've literally turned so, like, he turned that whole thing around and turned them into a team that can have guys that they pay. They have lots of big contracts on that team, but yet still stay under the cap and find ways to do it creatively. You need a creative mind at the top. That man is a creative mind. So I'm craving that. Give me Harbaugh, please. And not because he's the greatest coach on earth. Not because he's the greatest coach in the NFL right now. He is not. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you otherwise. He is not the best. He may not even be the best candidate out there. Maybe Stefanski is a better candidate.
I would say he's the best candidate out there. I would feel confident.
I just want the stability.
Yeah, I would feel confident saying that.
So
and that's
rant
the thing.
over.
We've talked about that with the Giants for pretty much a decade now, right? If not longer. Biggest issue is the stability at the top, and that's how it works, right? Now, you could be like the Cowboys and have stability at the top and still be a freaking mess. That's a whole nother conversation for the offseason when we don't have games and other things to get to. But all I will say is this, right? And I think Harbaugh is your best bet. And I don't think Stefanski is a worse second option. I think as a Giants fan, what's got to make you feel good, though, is you have the number 5 overall pick, Neighbors and Scattaboo coming back, year number 2.
Number 5 pick.
And you had the number 1 3 weeks ago, I know.
No, we would have had if the Giants lost to the Cowboys. No. If the Giants lost on Sunday to the Cowboys, they would have had the first pick. They would have tied with the same record as the Raiders, but I think based on tiebreakers or whatever, the Giants would have actually got the first pick.
Well, they've got the 5th pick, but either way, right? They roster-wise of the teams that have coaching openings. I don't know if that's somebody that wants to call into the show. Rosters that have coach openings.
No, it's potential spam.
All right, then screw the spam people.
Yeah,
we don't want to add them. They don't need extra shine. They bother every single one of us on a regular damn basis. But
that's a rant for a different day.
I think the Giants' job is the best job that's available. I would say the Giants, Atlanta, and then probably the Raiders, just because the Raiders' number 1 overall pick, $100 million in cap space.
And they did fire Pete Carroll?
And they did. Pete Carroll's gone. Raheem
I
Morris
didn't hear
is
about.
gone.
I didn't see. That's the thing is, I knew about most of the firings. There's some I'm still a little like
What?
because there's a bunch of firings, and like I'm talking from core like all
yeah.
over the place. There's core like
Gannon in Arizona got fired. That's who I'm hoping Dallas gets for their defensive coordinator
Washington
position.
fired both of them, right? Kingsbury and
their offensive and defensive.
yeah,
both.
So I mean, it's
There are openings,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But there are teams. I think there's a pecking order on. Like if I'm a Harbaugh, right, or a Stefanski, I'm making the list of the teams that I would go to. I think I'm looking at the Giants, Atlanta, and then the Raiders. And I say it in that order because talent-wise, I think the Giants have the most potential when it comes down to the talent on that team. I think that the Falcons have the second most amount of talent, and then the Raiders have the most potential as you go 3, 4, 5 years down the road, right? So if you're a coach with the legacy of a Harbaugh or a Stefanski, right? The Raiders aren't going to hire you and fire you in 1 year. You're not Pete Carroll in your 70s and that. Like, you're still in the prime of your career when it comes down to coaching. So I personally think that's your pecking order when it comes down to openings. Arizona has a few pieces, but you need a quarterback. I don't think they're bought in Kyler Murray from the ownership to the GM down. So I think Arizona is a team that's looking for a quarterback. Like, so
the Raiders are pretty much Mendoza. They're it's locking that first pick.
What's funny though is I'm saying this, and while saying this, I'm forgetting the fact that now the Baltimore Ravens have a head coaching opening.
And who doesn't want to go there?
I mean,
but is that maybe where Stefanski lands if Harbaugh lands with the Giants?
I could see that too, right? A lot of times coaches stay in division, right? But usually it's like a coordinator going into a head coaching spot. Very rarely is it from head coach to head coach in between divisional teams, but Baltimore, that's probably their number one call is Stefanski. Like, you've played against us for all these years. I can't imagine that from Baltimore's perspective, they want to bring him in because they're worried about Cleveland, right? Like, you're not sitting there like, oh boy, Cleveland could be a problem in a year or two. But like, still, you have had the ability to game plan against us twice a year, every year for how many years, right? So you've looked at us from a competitor standpoint and said, this is where they're weak. This is where we attack. Okay, let's bring you in to help address those spots, right? So I think, guess-wise, I think you see Harbaugh go to the Giants. I think Stefanski to Baltimore makes sense. Who Atlanta goes after, I have absolutely no clue. Probably a coordinator that somebody really likes. Because you gotta utilize Penix, right? Like, that team was not the same team once Penix went down. I really didn't think Penix was that good, but Kirk Cousins, I think, is that bad, even though he got a little bit better as the year went on. But they missed by not giving the ball to their best players, like Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London. Your entire offense should revolve around those three guys. And then everybody else.
You could almost say the same about the Raiders, though. Like, everything should revolve around Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty, and instead, like, it revolves around
the
everybody
first
but
9 weeks, Genty was averaging less than 15 touches a game. Like, you literally drafted him, 5th or 6th overall? Like,
I thought it was higher
give the damn guy the ball. He's a kid.
No, because Dart was, I think, 6th, wasn't he? No,
Dart was 26.
Yeah, 26
they traded
or
back
whatever.
in.
No, where was
Abdul Carter at 2.
Where was Genty?
I think Genty was 6.
He might have been.
Yeah, I think he was
Either
6.
way.
But every year for the last, I think it was like 10 years, at least 7 coaches have gotten fired, and head coaches have gotten fired, and they came into today with just 6. And everybody was like, well, who's going to be number 7? And I don't think many people had, like, I know there was rumors, but like, I know personally when I found out Harbaugh got fired, I didn't see that coming. Like, I was like, I know they talked about it, but like, dude's basically had you as a playoff contender going back to when Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl and prior to that, right? He got the most out of an aging defense with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and got that offense to do just enough to go win that Super Bowl.
And now if he could upgrade and I love what Fife said in our group text earlier, and I got to bring it up because I only read it a few minutes ago, but it's perfect. He said he'd prefer Harbaugh too, and he says he feels like this is Coughlin coming to right the ship. Like, he feels like this is like when Coughlin came in and fixed things, and I almost feel like that's what it could be. Like, because they have talent. You've seen what Jackson Dart can do. And so now you pair a coach who, has had a good quarterback already in Lamar Jackson. Well, guess what? It's kind of an upgrade. You get a guy even younger. And then you get Scatabo on a rookie deal. You got a bunch of guys on rookie deals right now, plus you're paying a few other guys. It really feels like you could turn things around pretty quick. But again, it takes the right people. But that's why I trust a guy like Harbaugh to come in and do that. I trust him to come in and evaluate correctly to bring in who he needs to bring in with that 5th pick. Like, I trust him in the draft. I wouldn't question, okay, well, maybe he was hit.
So you feel like him and Shane together could really look at it and say, okay,
could draft better than what Stefanski has done.
Yeah.
Honestly, tell me outside of, really, who is Stefanski drafted?
I don't even think he was there when they got Myles Garrett.
No. So that's what I mean. So, to me, there's, he took what he had and did something good with it, but I don't think he added talent to it. So that's where I would rather the Harbaugh mine. But that I just wanted to throw that in there at the end because I think it's a great point. I think it could be much like Coughlin coming in, and it could right this ship pretty quickly. So I'm all for it. Sounds like even you're all for it. Everybody's all for it.
I mean, look, as a Cowboys fan, I'm not all for it, but as a sports fan and somebody that can step aside
and I think he
from
can
a bias,
handle the New York media.
Oh yeah,
that's where I think he's different type of candidate where it's not like he's just some
yokel
that
the New York media ain't gonna bother him. He'll be fine. He'll be more than fine. And not to mention, right? Baltimore is not a city like it's not the media that you get in New York, but they've been a relevant team his entire coaching career with them, which means he gets more media than, if Baltimore was a 3-14 team every year, right? They've been relevant for a long time now. He's had to deal with personalities like Ray Lewis Ed Reeds and Lamar Jackson's. He's had to deal with personalities on his team. He's had to deal with a lot of media coverage. So I don't think the New York media will be any type of issue for him. And being unbiased, I think Harbaugh would be a home run hire for the Giants. 100%.
Now, can they get it done? Because right now, the only thing that's exciting is... That's about it.
Oh, hell yeah. 12th overall pick for the Cowboys. Last 2 times they had the 12th. Tyler Booker and Micah Parsons. I mean, let's get it right again. Hopefully Green Bay gets knocked out in the first round, so that gives them 12 and 19. There's a guy they really like. You package it together, trade up. But all I know is if they're doing anything other than defense, I'm going to lose my shit as a Cowboys fan of the draft. But we got plenty of time to talk draft. Nothing we need to worry about right now. A lot of coaches out there. Like I said, best part of my day was seeing that Eberflus or whatever the hell his name is got fired. So happy about that. I really just cannot stand the guy. What a waste of a season. Dallas gave up the most amount of points that they've given up in their entire franchise history. 511 points, 30.1 points per game they gave up. They averaged 28.8. So they literally averaged over 28 points a game, and they still ended up under 500 because they gave up over 30 points a game. Good riddance, goodbye. Trayvon Diggs, too. That's another quick little Cowboy tidbit. They cut Trayvon Diggs. He went to Green Bay. I know Parsons is injured, but pretty much joined his buddy Parsons. Good for him, by all means. I mean, the
Cowboys cut him. So.
Yeah, I have no issue with Trayvon Diggs. I mean, apparently he just was butting heads with the coaches, specifically the defensive coordinator, who they end up firing anyway. And I
think that defensive coordinator really screwed Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
And on multiple levels, because I think from the Parsons trade, because again, he and we've talked about it a whole bunch, but for what he wanted to do, he didn't have the right personnel. Well, and he didn't like the personnel he had, and they didn't work well together.
And I heard today that apparently one of the things that he had an influence on Parsons being traded, and basically told Jerry and was like, hey, I can create pressure with scheme and coverage. I don't need a dominant pass rusher to do it. Dallas couldn't create pressure on it. I mean, we find out Russell Wilson slightly tore his hamstring before the week 2 game, and he had a career game against Dallas on 1.5 legs. Like, you couldn't scheme pressure. You couldn't cover anybody.
But they were smart enough to take a dive this past weekend.
Oh, I was so happy. My uncle called me at halftime. He's like, "You see the score of that Cowboys-Giants game, Dave?" And I'm like, I want them to lose.
You know that they're actively trying to lose. Like, they literally sat everybody. Exactly. They played every backup, and the Giants played all their starters. It's not really a surprise. Not much of a surprise.
Shout out to Carl. He agrees Harbaugh is the way to go. But yeah, no, not much of a surprise, and well deserved. So I hope they can get Gannon from Arizona. He got the head coaching job because of his ability to coach defense. Arizona's problem wasn't defense; it was offense. The other one everybody's talking about is Flores out of Minnesota, but like Flores wants to be a head coach. Like that's a lateral move for him. And on top of that, if you do go Flores and you have a good defense next year, it's probably another defense coordinator the following year because you probably will finally get a head coaching opportunity, right? I'm cool with it. Like, I don't have a problem with getting Flores. I just think
he's not
they need a guy that they could know they're going to have for, at least 2 years. Like, talking about consistency, right? Like, you need some level of consistency. This will be their 4th defensive coordinator in 4 years. Like, it's not good.
Defensive coordinators really haven't, for the most part, worked out too well in the NFL. Like, and not in this recent, at a head coaching level recently.
I mean, Super Bowl wise, like performance. I mean, Tomlin was a cornerbacks coach. He wasn't even a defensive coordinator. He was the DB coach in Minnesota.
Yeah,
and Pittsburgh hired him, and here we are. He ties Chuck Noll with that win against Baltimore on Sunday night for the most wins as the Steelers head coach. Like, that's crazy. Like,
that's why I couldn't even believe that he was being talked about.
Oh yeah, I couldn't. But I felt the same with Harbaugh. But like you said, to kind of start things off, right? That game was almost like whoever loses, you're out of a job. Like, I mean, that really seems to be what might have been the case. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if Pittsburgh lost and Tomlin was let go, especially with how they would have lost. I mean, giving up a 40-something yard throw on 3rd and long to when you should have had Lamar Jackson dead to rights in the backfield, that was actually a pretty damn good game. That was the only game I actually watched from beginning to end on Sunday. I didn't even watch the Cowboys game. I just kind of put Red Zone on and I was like, oh, look, Dallas is losing. Yay! But anywho, Wildcard weekend.
It's here.
We're here. And you know who is not playing is our 2 teams.
Yeah, no.
So we get to go into this with a very unbiased thought process, though I am slightly biased in a couple games. If you want my honest thoughts.
Yeah, of course. So let's start with game number 1 here on Saturday.
Saturday, 4:30, Rams at Carolina. I'm biased in this game.
Why?
I want the Rams to win.
Why?
Because my thought process, because I'm a bitter human being when it comes down to the Eagles being in the playoffs and winning the division back-to-back for the first time in 20-plus years. And the last team to win the division back-to-back was the Eagles. So I'm a bitter human being. And when I look at these 2 teams, who do I think has a better chance to beat the Eagles? The Rams. So I'm biased. I don't hate the Panthers. I got nothing against Carolina. They ran all over Dallas. Rico Dowdle was like, oh, you didn't want to re-sign me? Here, let me poop all over you. I don't know if we're far enough in the stream that I can use a little bit more of a slight foul language. But
you could say shit.
You all get the point, right? Squat right on top of, Rico Dowdle.
205.
Like, yeah, oh yeah. 205, I think 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. Touchdown catch, touchdown run. He had his thing.
Look. I told him, buckle up.
Yeah, he did. And they were like, oh, we're going to buckle up. And yeah, he punched. They didn't punch back. But I think the Rams just have the better team and the ability to beat the Eagles. So that's why I'm biased.
The Rams are the better team. So we're going to agree there. But they're not a 10.5-point better team and not on the road going to Carolina. So I got to be honest, I'm going to start us off here. I'll take the Rams to win the game, but I don't think they cover the 10.5. I think Carolina keeps it close enough. Give me Carolina getting the 10.5 and give me the over 46.5 because I think both these teams can score. Even though Carolina's got a good defense, both teams have a good defense, but
I don't think it's far-fetched to expect each team to break 20, and then at that point, you just need 7 more points. So, we got to remember, the Rams went to Carolina already this year and lost, right? It was the first game in like 8-9 weeks where Stafford threw interceptions. I think with playoff football, it's always interesting, right? Because you want battle-tested, playoff-tested teams. Like, they're the teams you really think. But sometimes you get that young team with no fear. They're playing with house money. They know nobody thinks they deserve to be there. And that's your Carolina Panthers team. So I'm with you. I don't think this is a 10.5-point spread. I think Vegas is doing a lot of people a favor with this spread. I'll take Rams money line to win the game, right? But I'll take Carolina getting the 10.5. But I am going to go with the under. I think it comes really, really close to that 46.5. But I'm going to go with the under. And I'm going to go with probably what ends up being a game-winning drive by Matthew Stafford. I think this game goes down to the wire. And I think Carolina keeps it close because you're going to have a whole bunch of young kids that are just kind of like,
I think if it's a field goal to win the game, I'm going to go bold and say I think the Panthers are the ones that kick it and win.
I mean, Bryce Young is 6 games.
If it's that close a game and it's down to a field goal in the final minute, maybe it's time Bryce Young puts together a drive because he better start showing something if he wants a contract and he wants to continue staying ahead. So I think that this could be a show at moment. Rams have already won titles. Are they as hungry to get it? I think they're still the better team. I still pick them to win, but I think if it does come down to just a field goal at the end in the final seconds and there's a drive, I think the Panthers could be the team to put that drive together.
Bryce Young has 6 game-winning drives in his last 11 games.
Proving my point.
So the man's not scared of that moment. And I think some of the younger receivers and the guys on this team aren't scared of it either. I think it's going to be a very good game. I think it's going to be a close game. I just think the Rams, that battle-tested playoff experience is going to be that slight difference maker when we get to when we get to that final score. So this may be the game I'm most looking forward to this weekend. There's something about division teams playing each other a third time, right? Especially when they split. When it's a sweep, you're kind of like, okay, if the sweep was dominant, you're like, they're going to win the third one and sweep them 3-0. If the sweep was close, you're like, God's happy, you're going to shit the bed when it matters more, and it sucks to be you. But they split. They've played each other twice in the final 4 weeks of the season, I think it was. Mm-hmm. So here we are in the 5th week, and we've got our 3rd game. Chicago snuck out that win in the last game that they played. That was a game. He just hit him on that deep DJ Moore on that deep shot, game-winning touchdown. But at the same time, Green Bay didn't even crack 50 yards at halftime. I know they rested basically their entire starting lineup. Jordan Love hasn't played. It'll be 3 weeks since his last game because of a concussion. I don't like that. I think me and you have talked about this before. You want to go into the playoffs hot. You don't want to go into the playoffs taking your foot off the gas to, prevent injury and keep people healthy and we can gain our rhythm with no problem. We're fine. I don't like that. But Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, both in their first playoff games. A lot of guys on the Bears team never even played in the playoffs. They're another really young team. Green Bay's got some guys that have been there before. I think the spread is pretty appropriate. Green Bay giving 1.5 on the road. So basically they think Green Bay is going to win by 4.5. So I'll take Green Bay given the 1.5. I'm going to take the over. And I'll take Green Bay on the money line. I think this is going to be another really good game. But I do think Green Bay finds a way to win. It's just they better hope they get moving early in this game, because if they don't, Chicago played their starters last week. Like, Chicago played that game for the most part pretty seriously, even though they almost lost it, but they did play it pretty seriously. So I just think first-time head coach in the playoffs, it's different than being an offensive coordinator. It just is. And let's be honest, Detroit's offenses haven't been that great with Ben Johnson when they got to the playoffs. I don't know how much Dan Campbell influenced that, but they weren't great. I just think this is
I think
Green
that's
Bay's
where you're
game.
at here.
Yeah.
I think that's where you're at here is that I've told you all year. I think that the Bears caught some magic with the first year, new coach, first year magic. It happens. Dable had first year magic with Giants. It happens. You could do it once. Can you do it again? And that's where it comes into the playoffs. You're now facing a team for the third time. It's can you make the adjustments to the adjustments? Can you do all of those things? And I just don't have faith that the Bears are there yet. Nor do I think they're as good as they've played this season. They're 11-6. I don't think they're an 11-6 team. I think they've played above. I think they've punched above their weight class. I think they've performed really well, but I think this is where the experience of the Packers, this is where the experience of the head coach of being in the playoffs a little bit more and just having gone through this. I don't care if it's at Soldier Field. I'm taking Green Bay. I'm taking Green Bay on the money line. I'm taking Green Bay given a 1.5. And I'm taking the over again in this game because I want to root for points, damn it. So give me over 45
I
and a
think
half.
the over is a safe bet on this game. And also, I think one of the biggest X factors going into this game, Josh Jacobs should be back to healthy. Even if it's not 100%, 90% Josh Jacobs is better than any other running back they have in Green Bay. And they didn't have Jacobs in the last game against the Bears. I think that made a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think him being back, and like I said, even if he's not 100% healthy, I think is going to be huge for them. And these young wide receivers, my biggest concern with Green Bay are the young wide receivers. Are they going to step up and make plays when they need to make plays? I mean, Dobbs is their most veteran wide receiver, and I think he leads the team in drops. So, are you going to step up? Is Golden, who has been nothing of what they hoped for in his rookie year, is he going to step up? Who is going to make a couple plays for them when they need them and it's 3rd and 8, right? Who's going to make those plays? But I think Green Bay is going to figure out a way to win this game. So, I'm with we're a clean sweep on that one, my friend.
All right, next game Sunday.
Oh man,
Bills Jaguars.
Man, I called Chicago Green Bay the game of the week, and then here we are: Bills Jaguars and Niners Eagles. I mean,
although the Jaguars are another team that I put in a category like the Bears. First year head coach seems to be having a lot of great success. But not really a playoff tested team, not really a playoff tested guy as a head coach, going against a very, very seasoned Bills team who, amongst all accounts, with no Lamar Jackson, with no Joe Burrow, with no Patrick Mahomes, if Josh Allen can't win a Super Bowl this year, I don't know if Josh Allen ever wins a Super Bowl with the Bills. And I'm just saying that right now. He has the easiest path he's ever had. He doesn't have to go through any legends. He's got to beat Trevor Lawrence, who's starting his second career playoff game.
I think second or third, because remember 2 years ago.
That's what I said. I didn't think it was his first.
Yeah.
But again, still new and a brand new head coach who's at his first time being a head coach in the playoffs. If the Bills can't win this game, then I don't think they ever have a better chance to. I think that they almost got to blow it up and try again because you're not going to have a better opportunity.
Yeah.
So that said, Buffalo 1.5 favorite, over under 52.5. They don't have much defense going on in this game.
No, they do not.
So give me the Bills. Give me the Bills on the money line. Give me the Bills given the 1.5. And it is still a playoff game. 52.5 is a lot. But I'm going over again.
Look, I couldn't agree more when it comes down to Josh Allen and the Bills' opportunity in front of them.
The best they have.
And look, I understand Buffalo's a great home field advantage, but let's be honest here. it's not like even the Bills players get amped to go play in 0-degree weather. They're just more used to it, right?
They should be amped to go play in Jacksonville.
That's what I mean. Like Jacksonville in January,
it's gonna be at max like 60.
That's right. Like it is perfect football weather. Like you know when you get to like early mid-October, right? And you no matter where you are in the country, you know that temperature is just low enough that like they're gonna sweat. But it's going to be a sweat they earn, not a sweat because it's, 90 degrees and humid as shit in week 1 of September. But we've watched Josh Allen pretty much put this Bills team on his back and try to carry them year in and year out for God knows how long. They need to rely heavily on James Cook. They need to know for sure, or not know for sure, but they need to have a balance. But to me, if I'm Josh Allen, I'm looking at McDermott, and I'm simply saying this. That ball is in my hand every play. I'll hand it off to Cook every now and then. But if we're
losing, Cook's had a hell of a year.
If we're led the league in rushing. If we're losing in the playoffs, we're losing because of me. I am not letting anybody else on this team stop me from getting there. It will be on me. I want it on me, right? Like, that's the great player mentality, right? Like, we talk a lot more about it in, like, a sport like basketball, right? Where one guy really can truly take over an entire game on both sides of the ball. But this is where Superman needs to come out. This is where you need to put your cape on, and you need to tell your teammates, you do your job. I'll cover up all our inconsistencies. I'm carrying us. We are getting there. This has to be the year. Like you said, no Burrow, no Mahomes, no Jackson. Like, your 3 biggest adversaries, and I'm sorry, no disrespect to Drake May, who's had an amazing season in the conversation for MVP. The New England team, you should beat them too. That Denver team, you should beat them too. Every team in the AFC, this Bills team should be able to beat. The NFC is a little bit different. We'll see what happens, right? You can't. You just can't. And if they lose this game, I completely agree. Like, you think Harbaugh getting fired right now is a surprise? I'm as an owner, I am tearing this up. Tearing it up. It's beyond embarrassing if we can't capitalize on this year. Yeah. So
just at least making it there. Again, get to the dance.
Exactly.
Like, you again, unproven really Bo Nix in his second year. Unproven really Trevor Lawrence and Drake May. Like, everybody in your way, you should be able to. CJ Stroud. Another one, like, you should be able to.
42-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Like,
yeah.
You go through the list of quarterbacks, like, you are
far and away above all of them.
like, you're in your own, like, the people that are in your class didn't make the trip.
Didn't even get there.
Like, they did not make the trip. The people in your class are not on the bus.
Yeah.
Everybody else that's in this, right? Like, you should be driving the bus.
Let me give you the example. This is the best varsity player playing on the JV team. This is where, like, if we can't win today, we have the best varsity player substituting in for us. If our JV team can't win today, then I'm sorry, like, you must have an absolutely atrocious program.
No,
and it's gotta be blown up. So, this is a very, very important game and playoff series just in general for the Bills.
This could determine how his entire career gets looked at.
Absolutely.
It really can. So, but I'm with you. Bills given the 1.5.
But I don't take anything away if he wins a championship this year. If he goes on and gets to the Super Bowl and wins, I'm not taking anything away because those other guys didn't make it.
Oh, no, I won't either. Because it's winning a Super Bowl is arguably...
It's one of the hardest things to do.
I think a Stanley Cup's probably the hardest thing to do because of just that physicality, 7-game series over and over again for 3 to 4 rounds. Stanley Cup's probably the hardest championship to win in the top, the major 4 sports. Super Bowl's got to be number 2. I mean, to me, you know what he has right now in front of him? He has LeBron James Lakers in the COVID Bowl.
Yep.
That's what this is to him.
Yep.
Or that's what this should be to him. Like, people can downplay it, right? LeBron still got his title with the Lakers.
Yep.
Do I think it's as respected as your typical seasons? No.
But he got
it. And no matter what, if you get there, even if you get there and you don't win it, you can't not get there. I'm sorry. Josh Allen, you have done too much. You can't not get there. But I'm with you pick-wise. Bills giving the 1.5. I'm taking the over. I'm taking the Bills money line. I also want to shout out Carl. He's got Packers, Bills, Eagles. He didn't give me a pick for the Rams or Panthers game yet, but I'm just dropping them all in here to get people's choices. So, all right, so we're down to 3 games, 2 more on Sunday, starting with the 49ers traveling to Philly.
This, again, you talk about games of the week, and you're like, oh, that first game was the game of the week. And then, no, the Bills-Jaguars is the game of the week. 49ers-Eagles could be game of the week. Because I'll tell you what, the 49ers are a scary team. One, because Christian McCaffrey has managed to stay healthy all year. Whether it was drawing off of the blood of his own teammates or not, he stayed healthy all year, and he's had a hell of a year. Guess what? Kittle looked pretty damn good last week. Like, Purdy looks like a guy who wants to go out there and win. He looks like a guy who wants to shut all the Mac Jones people up who were like, Mac Jones was looking pretty good while you were gone. And there he's like, shut up, here I go. You know what I mean? Like, they're playing very good football.
Other than that Seattle game, they've looked great.
I think they get, they're battle tested. They've been there before. A lot of these guys, it's the Eagles coming off of last year's championship haven't looked as sharp, haven't looked as determined, have had a lot more issues. Weirdly enough, this could be a game where I know the Eagles are favored, but I think
4.5.
And again, I don't want my bias to come in. So if Marissa or any other Eagles fans are in the chat and want to stand up for your Eagles, I think this is a game where the Eagles could get got. I think this is a game where if both teams want to run the ball, both teams could control the clock. I think it's actually going to shorten the points in this game because there's just going to be a lot of clock running. I like the 49ers on the money line. I like the 49ers getting the 4.5, and I like the under because I think it's going to be a lot of running in this game. And I don't pick a lot of unders. I think this game, but again, I could easily see it going over because both have explosive offenses at different times too. So you definitely see it going over, but I'm picking the under.
See, this is like every one of these other games, I haven't thought about this, but this is the game that I hate that we make these picks without the injury report, right? Trent Williams. Does he play? Does he not play?
It's a big difference.
It is, and Lane Johnson's practicing this week, right? So that's gonna be huge for Philly, right? Mm-hmm. It's a big difference. It's the same idea, right? The only difference is Lane Johnson isn't protecting the blind side, right? And we know how important that is for a quarterback.
Plus, I think if you looked at the records with Trent and without, like, it's
the same thing with the Eagles with Lane Johnson since Lane Johnson started his. It's unbelievable, like, to think that a single offensive lineman, because you really always look at the offensive line as a unit, right? But like a single offensive lineman can make that big of an impact. But Lane Johnson should play this week. I have no idea about Trent Williams, but let's say Trent Williams is playing. If he's playing, I'm taking San Fran getting the points. I'm taking San Fran money line, and I'll actually take the under with you. If Trent Williams isn't playing, then I would probably take Philly given the 4.5 because Philly, one of the things Philly does better than probably any other team in the NFL is blitz their linebackers. They're very strategic about it. They're very good at hiding the scheme. They're very good with the loop. You know, the hell's it called when they cross each other? Whatever. The loops. We'll just call it that for right now. I can't remember it off the stunt. That's what they call it. Football term. Stunt. Like they're very good at blitzing their linebackers. The other question in this game is what Jalen Hurts and that offense are you going to get? Because if they run the ball successfully, it sets up play action. And look, we know how I feel about Jalen Hurts. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But the one thing Jalen Hurts does very well in that
so much that they call him a quarterback. It aggravates you. I feel like
he's just not.
But what? Let me ask you:
He throws an amazing deep ball. That is one thing that he throws an amazing.
So
deep
what
ball.
would you categorize him as? Because there are certain players out there that can kind of be like hybrid players, whether it be like tight end receiver, whether it be like a hybrid guy like a Debo could be, where you could put him in the backfield. You could put
He's
him
a running back that plays quarterback. That's what he is to me.
I think he needs a better name than that. I think he needs a better
I'm sure
name.
there's a better name out there that somebody's come up with. But to me, if the rule with Jalen Hurts his entire career in the NFL is just keep him in the pocket. If he has to read a defense and go through progressions, he struggles royally. If the run game is going and he can play action and just throw there are maybe 3 quarterbacks in the entire NFL that can throw a deep ball as good as Jalen Hurts. Like, I will not take that away from him. His touch, his ability to put the right loft on it, drop it where he needs to go. There are not many quarterbacks in the league that can throw a deep ball like Jalen Hurts. But with that said, right, when you're throwing a deep ball, you're not reading the defense. You're literally play action and you're throwing the ball. You know who you're throwing it to before you even turn and face the field. And you have your back to the defense and you're faking the handoff to the running back. You turn. You know where you're throwing the ball. If Jalen Hurts has to stand in a pocket and go through progressions, he struggles royally. Either way, if you get good Jalen Hurts and you get running Jalen Hurts, the Eagles win this game with no problem. No problem at all. Because if Jalen Hurts runs the ball, he's a major problem. If they contain the run and he can't scramble and run the ball and he has to read the defense, he is average at best. So that, to me, if you're San Francisco, that's how you're going into this game. We have to keep him in the pocket. We have to stop Saquon Barkley in the run game, and we have to put him in a position where he's forced to go through his reads. Problem with San Francisco is their best defensive players haven't played in like 8-9 weeks. Positive for that is the guys that are going to be out there at least have gotten experience through it. I have no idea who actually comes out of this game. If both teams are going in there, if both offensive linemen that we discussed to start this game are both playing, I'm going to take San Francisco to win the game, but I would take Philly giving the 4.5. Wait, no, I didn't say that right. Sorry. San Francisco getting the 4.5, San Francisco money line and the under. I just think this is going to be a really, really close game. Okay. I do. And
I agree with you there. I think it has the ability, because again, I think both teams can run the ball. That being able to control the clock, I think, just lends itself to being a closer game in general. So
yeah, and they're going to want, both teams are going to want that. They're going to want to limit possessions for the other team. And I mean, if you're a running back fan, though, you can't ask for a better game to watch. I mean, McCaffrey and Saquon, like what, like.
But speaking of games, though, that like, because where that one, you're just like, I don't know, could go either way. I don't know. That's the way I feel about this next game. And
I would agree.
Chargers, Patriots. I just have no idea because I don't believe enough in Drake May. But yet the Chargers have looked so good at times this year and yet so bad at other times. They lost to the Giants. But again, that was Jackson Dart Giants, so it's a different Giant team. So how do you judge that? And to be honest, they should have more experience. More. Well, no, Vrabel, to be honest with you, I think is probably, and it's hard to say, but probably the most underrated head coach in the league. Like, people talk about Tomlin, people talk about Andy Reid, people talk about,
Vrabel's who I wanted Dallas to hire before they got
he's a phenomenal head coach, and he's done well. He did great with the Titans. Now look at where the Titans are without him. Look what he's been able to do with New England, a team that he went and won championships with as a player, so he's got ties there. He wants to win there. They're home, but
also
I don't
West Coast team traveling east. The only thing that helps is it's an 8 o'clock game, not a 1
so I don't think they
so
don't
that
feel
doesn't
it.
carry as much weight.
I think both teams, again, want to run the ball. I think both teams want to be physical. I think both teams are going to keep this to a low-scoring game. So I think...
And just to be clear before he picks, I know where I'm going with this game.
It's tough, but I think I'm going to go Patriots on the money line. So the Patriots to win the game outright in a close one. I take the Chargers getting the 3.5, and I'm going to take the under. That's where I'm going. So where are you going? You're confident a second
You
ago.
clean swept it for me.
Yeah?
That was the deep breath. The over-under was the only thing I was unsure of. But, yeah, no, I think – and the reason for it is simply because of this. The Chargers invested high draft picks to build that offensive line, and all of those high draft picks are injured. Justin Herbert is a very good quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
But Tom Brady, Joe Montana, the greats of the greats, if their offensive line can't protect them, they can't be great. And that, to me, is where the Chargers are going to fall. Because this New England defense all year long has been a good defense. They're not, crushing people and, 7 sacks a game and, multiple turnovers every game and, giving up 12. Like, they're not the 2000 Ravens, right? They're not the 85 Bears. They're a very, very good defense, which shouldn't be surprising with a guy like Vrabel as your head coach. They're also getting their Pro Bowl defensive tackle, Barmar, something like that. He's coming back. So this will be his first game back in like a month. I think they had him on the short-term IR. He's going to be hungry as hell, right? And he's arguably their best interior defensive lineman. That, to me, is where the Chargers lose this game, is the trenches, specifically New England's defensive line versus their offensive line. And that's why I knew what I was picking when we got to this game, because that's where the Chargers. I keep wanting to say San Diego, so I'm like stuttering.
The San Diego Superchargers.
But the Los Angeles Chargers will lose in New England, and the Patriots will get Vrabel his first playoff win as a head coach for New England and not a player. So, but then we moved to our final game.
He just crushed it up.
I was actually listening to him at the gym. Love that. I gotta be honest. I didn't think this game should be the Monday game.
No.
Like
one of those other games that we talked about earlier, one of those other 3-4 games, whether it be Philly and San Fran, whether it be the Buffalo Jacksonville game, like any of those games.
This should not be the Monday, because I don't see any way the Steelers win this game. I'm sorry. I don't know about spreads. I didn't scroll low enough down yet. I just think the Texans are just a better team. That defense, it's going to be an ugly game. I mean, our over-under is 39.5. It's the only game of the Wildcard weekend.
Shout out to Will
Anderson
in that defense.
That defense is ridiculous.
I told you guys
Daniel
about
Hunter,
Will Anderson
too, at
years ago. I
30-some
told you guys about him.
And remember, they made those moves, man. They took C.J. Stroud, and then they literally traded. They took Stroud at like the 1. They traded up to the 3 so that they could get Will Anderson. They saw what you saw. And then Daniel Hunter coming from Minnesota there to compliment him and help him develop.
But all the draft picks, Nico Collins got tanked. Like they've been hitting on a lot of guys there, and they've been doing well.
And I
love D'Amico Ryans.
And I think they nailed the head coach. I think he was the right coach for this team. And look, you look at Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, like Aaron Rodgers can't move for the most part, right? How's he gonna get away from Hunter and Anderson? How's he going to do it?
He can't.
And then yes, I understand. Like a lot of Steelers fans are like, oh, we're getting an angry DK Metcalf back for the playoffs. He's going to crush things. Do you not realize they have one of the best cover man-to-man corners in Singletary on the other side? You don't think he's going to be ready for angry DK Metcalf? Like, look, Metcalf's got him in height and weight. That's great. I still don't see that man getting pushed around by DK Metcalf. So it's going to be an ugly game. Because no disrespect to C.J. Stroud, he hasn't really done much since that rookie year to make me say, hey, you really are, like, you're the Texans quarterback until you're 40, right? Like, he hasn't done enough to make me think that, right? He hasn't done enough to make me think you're the next big paid quarterback. Like, he's done enough to keep his starting job. That's where I feel like the line is right now.
That's why he needs to win this game and start progressing.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a little bit of an ugly game, but you're going to have a quarterback that can scramble, but he doesn't want to run like Lamar Jackson. He wants to move around in the pocket, and he wants to throw the ball. Also on the Steelers, who the hell's covering Nico Collins? I mean, I don't know if Joey Porter Jr. is back yet. I don't think he is. Maybe him if he is back. I just think this is an ugly, low-scoring game. I wouldn't be surprised if the defense scores as many points as the offense when you combine the two teams. I would not be surprised. So I'm going to take the Texans giving the 3. I mean, personally, to me, I think that spread is setting you up for a push. I'm going to take the under. Well, 39.5. I mean, that's 21-14 gets you 35, 17, 38. Yeah, I'm taking the under. And I'm going to take the Texans on the money line because I think that Houston giving 3 is a push. I think that's literally what you're going to end up seeing this game boil.
I agree with you flat out. I think we're going to sweep this one because I agree with the 3. It's like a push. I think it could be a field goal game, but I see the Texans winning it. So, well, no, but with a push actually would be if the Steelers. No, I honestly no. Then we don't agree because I'm taking the Texans all the way. I think the Texans I'll take the Texans giving the 3.
Freaking spreads throw me off. I'll take the yes. I think the Texans win by 3.
You think the Texans win by 3?
I think the Texans win by 3.
Yeah,
so they're giving 3, so it's a push for me.
No.
See, this is why I don't bet on sports, people.
The Steelers.
Once again, disclaimer: do not take my advice on betting in sports.
The Steelers are getting the 3.
Okay. And
so
I think
if Houston wins by 3,
it's a push.
It would be a push.
Yeah, so then it's a push for me.
Yeah, it's a push. I agree because I think Houston could win by 3. And I think that's pretty accurate. I also agree. I think it's the under because I don't have a ton of faith in either offense to really put up big points. I think there's going to be a lot of field goals in this game. I think it's going to come down to a Fairbairn field goal at the end. And I think Texans are going to win, and I think they are going to take another step forward because I think they're a pretty decent team. But again, the AFC is the Bills to win or lose. Completely, I don't want to hear anything else from anybody else. There are no excuses this year.
And I want to shout out Carl. He gave us picks for every game. So he's got Rams, Bears, Bills, 49ers, Chargers, and Texans. He originally put Steelers, so I don't know if he changed his mind listening to our convincing breakdown of this game or if he just accidentally typed Steelers. But I'm going to give us credit for painting a picture for Carl to say, hey.
Accidentally type Steelers.
It's not really close to Texas.
Not even like that's not an autocorrect kind
You know
of
we got love for you, Carl. I had to share the whole truth. Eric
out to Carl.
Eric doesn't get to look at the
Shout out
chat.
to his brother Tim, who's always helping me out as well. I look forward to linking up with Tim when I'm head back down to Florida in March to do some stuff with him while I'm down there. So looking forward to that. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to some playoff football now. I can't believe it's already here. It's the end of the season already. And it's one of those things. But to be honest, this is one of those times a year that starts getting good.
Oh, yeah.
Because it ramps up. Because now you got the playoffs. And the playoffs, football's ending. But then you got March Madness. And you got then you got hockey and basketball ending. You got baseball. There's a lot happening, a lot coming up.
We're about to hit the prime meat on
one of the prime times because I feel like it's that, and I feel like it's like fall, like September, October.
Well, you got
baseball
late
ending,
October,
football starting,
November,
college football go. Like you got I feel like there's two like equinoxes almost, and like.
So really, last question before we wrap this up because the hunger is kicking in, and I'm sure
I'm
you
with
feel
you too.
me. Yeah. So last question for you. So the Seahawks and the Broncos are the two teams on the bye. Is the team that's going to win, or the teams that are playing in the Super Bowl, are they playing this weekend?
Yes. Yes, and I say that confidently because one. Sam Darnold had an amazing regular season last year, too. Didn't follow through to the playoffs.
Looked pretty damn good against San Francisco in the winner-take-all for the 1 seed in the division.
Looked fantastic, but...
It's not the playoffs.
Not the playoffs.
Okay.
And the Broncos, again, I think they're just too young. I don't think Bo Nix is ready for a Super Bowl yet. I don't think that team is ready for a Super Bowl yet. I think they're getting better and better. I think it's a team that absolutely is going to start challenging the Chiefs for supremacy in that division. But I'm telling you right now, I don't have faith in Bo Nix to win this year. So maybe next year, maybe in the next few years, they start adding some more around him. RJ Harvey gets more and more experience. I think it can only help them to be the 1 seed because they're going to be able to get some rest. I think they're going to go into next week healthy at home. I think it's going to matter because Mile High, I think, is an atmosphere that matters. But I don't think they're ready for a Super Bowl step. And again, Super Bowl or bust for Josh Allen because you're not getting a better chance to get to the dance. I'm not saying he's going to win it because I think the NFC East has some contenders, or the NFC, I should say, has some contenders, but the Bills got to get there.
So, last one. Oh, well, first and foremost, I apologize to Carl Sr. I didn't realize that we got Carl Sr. in there.
Oh, shout out to Carl.
So, I didn't read the names when I was like, oh, did you misspell Steelers? So, it's Carl Sr. Steelers Sr., sorry. Carl Sr.'s got the Steelers. So, Rams, Bears, Bills, 49ers, Chargers, Steelers. Carl Jr. Carl's Jr. Oh, my God. I got to go out west. Holy shit. That just gave me a flashback.
I've never had Carl Jr.
Oh, my God. Look, I'm sure if I could eat it on a regular basis, kind of like Whataburger and In-N-Out and like all these, West Coast chains. I think from the East Coast, when you get to have it maybe once every couple years, it builds up in your head of how fantastic it is. But man, last time I had Carl's Jr., it was like I had like the cheese like here, and I was just like, oh my God, it was amazingly gross. But I do apologize. So I do apologize, Carl Sr. Glad you guys are laughing with me on that one. But so last one though, and then we'll wrap this up. 8-10, perfectly timed this. Who are your 2 Super Bowl teams? I'm not gonna hold you to it. This isn't like a
my way too early prediction. Too early prediction.
Yeah, we're not doing a tortilla slap or anything on this one.
My way too early prediction is going to be an old one from Chris Berman.
Okay.
Boomer himself. Give me the Bills and the 49ers.
Ooh, okay.
It's kicking it old school a little bit with that matchup, kicking it like 90s like type matchup of something that I feel like he would predict. But I just feel like those 2 teams right now got the experience, got the drive, and have the ability in front of them. So those are the 2 that I'm picking the way too early Super Bowl prediction.
I'm Bills Rams. So
okay.
We both, it's been pretty damn clear since we started talking about these games. The Bills have to get there. They just have to get there. So
wait. I think you're trying to say
more than anything, I want better execution. Are we clear on that? I want better fucking execution.
Every time. Got to get it done.
And the Bills in this offseason need to get Josh Allen a real number 1 wide receiver. It's just ridiculous that he doesn't have one. But anywho, well, I don't know about you, sir, but I think we're good to go.
Good to go. Good to go. I haven't done the.
No.
Oh, no, that's you. You got the chip.
Bills, Rams, D Hastings 23 on Instagram, David Hastings 23 on X, formerly known as Twitter. And I'm slowly being done with Facebook, so don't worry about Facebook.
At Louis Aussie Dude on Instagram, at The Living Legend on X, at Champscast on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. That's Champs with a Z, kicking it back to our Sports Zone heritage. And still love doing this with you, brother. So until next week, let's go playoff football. And damn it, I'm going to say it. I hope the Yankees make a move finally. It's been a boring offseason. What I'll say to the Yankees is...
Stop it. Get some help.
Hey, shout out to Carl Jr., Carl Sr. Really.
Shout out to Tim.
Doobie.
Shout out to Marissa. Shout out to Janice, who I'm sure popped in and listened. Shout out to Mama H, if she popped in at all. To Amanda, Fife. Everybody out there that listens, we appreciate you more than you know. So thank you so much. And until next time, yeah. Live like a champ.